Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Complete Sports Media Podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell. We're really excited today. We're going to get to talk about some soccer, some Champions League that just finished up. And obviously the biggest news in the sporting world right now is Lionel Messi putting in a transfer request and wanting to leave Barcelona. It's it's set the world on fire. Everybody's speculating where he's going to go, and we're going to discuss this with Olivier Pheulpin. We've got him joining us. He was with us a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed some soccer and some basketball, and he's able to join us today. Olivier is the technical director for the Juventus Soccer Academy down in San Antonio. And they've been closed for a little while over this pandemic, but they're about to begin playing again next week. And I'm so glad you can join me today, Olivier. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. Good morning, Darren. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. So I also really hope that you could join me today and tell me that Messi's joining Juventus, and I can scoop the world and let everyone know that Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are finally going to become teammates in this superpower that Juventus has always wanted to be.
I wish I had that scoop, man, but it's been quite interesting the last few hours for many reasons. First of all, the fact that I cannot remember a moment like this in sport, that kind of announcement since pretty much Michael Jordan. You know, it is that big. I mean, Europe is on fire right now. Every club is talking about it. I mean, my own team, Dijon, is making fun about it. Like, oh, come on, the secret is out. Yeah, no, they're not going to get him. They would have to sell the city to get him. But one team will, and based on what we know, it looks like Manchester City is in the lead. Manchester City coach is Pep Guardiola, who used to coach Messi for 4 years in Barcelona. So they talked last week already. We don't really know exactly what they discussed beyond the fact that apparently Messi asked him, is there a spot for me on your team? You know, can you make it happen financially, which is the big question, because Messi's value it's a crazy number. I mean, there's a clause, it's supposed to be 700 million euro, whatever that means. I have no idea. But if I can be technical with you, he has a clause in his contract that allows him to be free as long as he announced that to Barcelona by June 1st. Because of COVID, every Champions League game has been pushed back. So they got whooped by Bayern Munich 8-2. After that, he made his decision. He was done, but it was past June 1st. So I'm sure that lawyers in Spain are going to have a field day dealing with that one. The reality of it is Messi wants out. He made it official. Barcelona is on fire. They had a board meeting where, people were getting fired and quitting right and left. President doesn't want to move right now. It's a political chess game, the biggest kind you can imagine. Manchester City does have the money to do so. PSG, the French team as well. I don't know of any real contact. I mean, of course, PSG is doing their due diligence like everybody else and contacting Messi. Inter Milan is on the list. Juventus has been on the list for a while. We can all dream. The reality, the financial reality is there's only a handful of teams that have that kind of money. Even if Messi is not going to leave for 700 millions, he's 33-year-old, as good as he is, he's the best ever. Yes, he only has 1 year on his contract, and you know what it means when you only have 1 year on your contract. Your value is whatever people are willing to pay for you. And there's rumors as well that Manchester City, who has agreement with New York FC in the MLS, already has some kind of pathway for him, where he would play 3 years in England and move to the MLS to finish his career as an ambassador of the game. And so, there's news every 5 minutes right now. It's quite exciting, but that's the reality. There's only a couple of teams that can really make that happen, because Barcelona is going to ask for something, return. And by something, I mean everything they can get,
Yeah.
knowing that Messi is leaving. So.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned the contract negotiations. He was supposed to have a clause in his contract where he could become a free agent if he had made that announcement. He's been saying that because this COVID and the whole season got pushed back, that announcement can be made by the end of August. Where do you think a court would rule? Do you think it's going to rule on the side of Messi that he still can become this free agent by the end of the season? Or is it going to be by that date? Who do you think they'll rule for Barcelona, or do you think they'll rule for Messi?
I'm not a lawyer, as you know, but we are in unprecedented times, so it is what it is. It's still not going to be enough. Laws are laws. I mean, if it says June 1st, it is June 1st. But he's going to leave. You know, the moment Messi decides he's leaving, the moment he makes it official, everybody's scrambling to find the best deal out there. You know perfectly well, I mean, you've dealt with that in the NBA or in the NHL. The moment a superstar wants to go, he's going to move. You can't force him to play. I mean, I imagine the locker room, and there's a new coach coming from Holland, Koeman. If he gets there and Messi doesn't want to play for him, I mean, the season is done before they start. So they're going to have to find a way, despite what they're saying. Today they had a press conference where one of their guys explained that Messi is there to stay. We're going to do everything we can to keep him. But they cannot. The reality is the moment Messi made that official, and that announcement has been growing in the last few years because Barcelona is not getting any better. They fire a coach he liked last year. They just pretty much fire Suarez in the last few days. If I understand a phone call, it's going very, very bad in Barcelona, and it's difficult to know exactly what is the truth, what is not. But what is clear is that the fans are freaking out, and that the club has to find a solution, and that the value of Messi is so crazy that you will never get what you want, especially in an urgency like this. The clause itself is just an argument for Barcelona to negotiate a little bit more. But he's gone. He's going to leave. So, and again, Manchester City looks like they have all the cards in their hands. I do not see PSG being able to pull it because there's still financial limitation from UEFA. They can't sign everybody. So the only way PSG could get Messi would probably by letting Neymar go. But Neymar is 28, Messi is 33, Mbappe is 21. You don't touch Mbappe. So I think only Manchester City is playing that game right now.
I see. Could it be that, honestly, that 8-2 shellacking that they took at the hands of Bayern Munich be that final straw? I mean, he's had some fights with Eric Abidal. He's obviously, really upset with Suarez. I know he, was really a big fan of playing with Neymar, and Neymar left, not too far in the distant past. But is it really over this 8-2 defeat that Bayern Munich put on them in the semifinals of the Champions League?
It's the last straw. It's the repetition of moments like this. Barcelona used to be a monster. They used to develop players with La Masia. They are not doing that anymore. They changed. They have money problem. Messi, for the last few years, pretty much has been the tree that, I don't know if you say that in English, it's a typical French expression, the tree that hides the forest. Does that make sense in English? Yeah, Messi has been doing everything he can, but as good as he is, you cannot win the Champions League on your own, alone, just like he cannot win the World Cup alone. And that's why, yes, he's been tired of it. He doesn't like the way the president of Barcelona deals with all those problems. And that's about it. And there's rumors that when Koeman arrived last week as the new coach from Barcelona, he made it pretty clear to Messi that he's the coach. And that means, you're going to have to follow. And, he has to do it as a coach. It is a very difficult moment, So.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's, such shocking news. He joined their academy at 13 years old. He's been there 20 years. It's just, absolutely stunning that he would make that move. You mentioned when we talked last time that Messi was your guy. He's one of the greatest football players, if not the greatest to ever live. How does a relationship, that was so great, this is the first time that they're not winning a major trophy in 12 seasons. So he's had a massive amount of success there. You can go over all the trophies he's won: 33 major trophies, 700 goals, just on and on and on and on. If you start, talking about all the things that he's done in Barcelona, I'm amazed that a relationship could be, headed to divorce after so much success, and just, putting him on the world map as well as obviously Barcelona. But yeah, to hear that he sent a fax saying, I want out of here, it's just stunning news. We have one of the worst breakup stories I've ever heard in my life.
It's an official email. We all, I believe every media in North America looked at that term. What does that mean? There's no fax anymore, even in Europe. So don't go there with, Europe being, it's some kind of official email that is admitted for lawyers. And it has a weird name, I give you that. But it's funny. It's very interesting and funny because, it takes me back to Michael Jordan again. The moment Michael Jordan quit and came back with Washington, I was kind of like disgusted, but excited. Because you want more. You want to see maybe if Messi can put the Premier League on fire. It's the best league in the world. Can he play at that level? Because it's a very, very physical defense. Everything is faster. There's a reason why it's the best league in the world. And I remember I had so many discussions, just like everybody else who loves soccer, about can Messi play in England? Or will they break him after 2 games? Because there's some rough team over there. And now it may happen, and it's very exciting. And I'll tell you a little story that I'm going to throw my son under the bus. He's going to hate me for this. He plays college, soccer college in Canada. I'm not going to say where, but that's the first thing he said. He's a college kid. He's 21, and he said, I need his jersey. If he signs with City, I need the jersey. And there's going to be millions of people that are going to want that new jersey. So basically, the investment that Man City is going to do is it's kind of like when Neymar signed with PSG. Everybody wanted to buy that jersey, and they made hundreds of millions in a week or in 2 weeks. It was a crazy number, and it's going to be bigger with Messi. So moving is never easy. As you know, I'm still in San Antonio. I followed the Spurs for many years. The idea of someone like Tim Duncan moving to another team would be blasphemy. And this is how I know they are reacting in Catalonia. Messi should stay. But you also have to understand he has nothing else to prove over there. The team is not good enough to win the Champions League, and probably not going to happen in the next few years. He's getting old. He's upset. We can only judge so far, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I know you have, allegiance and ties to PSG. You said, okay, I won't speak for you.
I used to work for PSG. That was 25 years ago.
Okay, I see. But is that the team that you were, cheering for growing up? Is that the team that, most of the people that lived around you, that was their team?
No. I'm not from the capital, and I seem to get the feeling it's kind of the same in every country. Unless you're from that city, you do not cheer for the biggest club. You do not cheer for the capital city. It's kind of like Toronto in Canada. If you're not from Toronto, nobody likes them. It was the same. It's the same for PSG. I work for them because life is life, and they're a great club. But no, it's a French thing. We're very melancholic. We're romantic. You cheer for the small one. They never win. My team is Saint-Etienne. You ask. They made the French Cup final this year for the first time since 1982. and they lost. So my team hasn't won a trophy since I was a 7-year-old.
Wow. Okay, wow.
And I'm still cheering.
Still cheering. Oh, good for you. Yeah, I'm glad you're a loyal fan, and yeah, you're not just a bandwagon jumper that gets onto the team that's doing well and winning titles.
But the thing is, in soccer in Europe, if you love the game, you have to cheer for the clubs that represent your country. I understand fans, but there's a limit. I mean, when PSG plays a final, of course I'm for them. I want to see them do well. Same for Marseille or Lyon or anybody. It is for the best interest of the country. Yeah. That being said, Bayern Munich did completely deserve to win that final. I mean, PSG had some chances, yes, and they should have scored, because if you don't score against a machine like this, you will pay back at the end, and that's what happened. But I have no doubt that if they play that game 10 times, Bayern Munich wins 7. They're just more organized. They're a better team. I mean, to me, Bayern Munich and Liverpool are the best soccer team in the world today. And PSG has maybe the best 2 players. It's possible, but you still need to play better as a team. So they'll be better next year. They'll learn from this. I mean, losing a final 1-0, that keeps you up at night.
Yeah, that must. Yeah. Was it a redemption, though, for some French fans that Kingsley Coman got the goal, and he's originally from there? How did that feel for many French fans?
There's been a lot of trash talk on the social media. It's been interesting, to say the least. Coman deserves everything. I mean, he's a great player. The French national team is waiting for him to really explode and become that guy, because he has the potential. Playing on the French national team is not easy. There's so many great players, but he's there. He's right there. And it was Kerrer on the other side, the German guy for PSG. I mean, he made him dance. It was insulting at some point. So Coman had a heck of a game. He's from Paris. There's 5 French players in that Bayern Munich team. It's an interesting world we're in. You have pretty much more French guys playing for Bayern than you have playing for PSG. It's a close game. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not a fan. I already understand what's going on, and Coman deserves all this, and Coman will move someday, and I mean, that's life of a soccer player, and just won. He deserved it.
Yeah. So before we put the Messi to bed, do you think Man City is pretty much the only place he's going to go? Should we discuss Inter Milan? Should we discuss Chelsea? Is there, there's a lot of teams putting their hand up saying, yeah, I want him. Let's get it, make it happen. Do you think basically Man City is the only team we should be discussing?
I work for Juventus, as you know, and I remember having discussion with Juventus people last year where they were telling me Juventus is trying to get Messi. Yeah, my grandma is trying to get Messi as well, but everybody's trying to get Messi. But can you do it? You need the money. You need to be in the good grace of Barcelona as well. Barcelona, is going to negotiate with whoever they want. Of course, Messi is going to push. And that's why PSG, it's going to be difficult. They have Neymar, they have the financial limitation. I do believe that, it's funny you talk about Inter Milan, because Conte was confirmed a few days ago, just after Messi's announcement he was leaving, and suddenly, it's because Messi's coming. Sometimes people, it's just coincidence. Milan, I don't see where they would have the money to do this, and the attraction to Messi is, there's only one. Cristiano Ronaldo is in Italy. Maybe Messi would like to show him who's the best in Italy, but it seems more obvious to join the Premier League and do it with Man City, because Pep Guardiola is his guy. That's when Guardiola was best. That's when Messi was best, when they worked together. And that's what sounds like the most realistic scenario. I know Barcelona is already talking about Gabriel Jesus, players from Manchester City, that maybe we can talk as long as you include the guy in the deal. So, we don't know enough yet. The only thing that is really, really clear is that Manchester City is leading right now. And if someone shows up with a fantastic offer, I mean, why not? But it has to be limited to England. And I'd be shocked if PSG gets it.
What about the other two teams that you mentioned that you consider the best two in the world right now, Bayern Munich and Liverpool? Yeah, imagine him going to Bayern Munich. Could that ever be a possibility? Or Liverpool? I know Liverpool is going to give it a big shot.
That will be unfair. That will be unfair. I mean, come on, man. I don't think you need to have some kind of relationship established already, and that's not the case. There's no real connection beyond Manchester City over there. But I was thinking Manchester City will be the favorites in Premier League if they get him, and that's what I was thinking of Liverpool this morning. Like, this is probably the best team in the world with Bayern Munich. If Manchester City gets Messi, Liverpool is not even the favorite next season. And there's only one player in the world today that will change a dynamic like this. Liverpool is supposed to win the league next year because they're absolutely fantastic. But if Man City gets Messi, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we saw Kevin Durant leave Oklahoma City and go to Golden State after Golden State Warriors had won some NBA championships, and Kevin Garnett took a lot of abuse saying that, why would you do that? Why would you go to a team that's already so stacked and you can't prove that you're the reason why you've won championships? And eventually, a few years later, led to him leaving because he wasn't the guy and never was the guy. Do you think there's, that type of situation and possibility with Messi? Would there be an ego that he wants to be just the leading star and wants to be the reason why suddenly he's winning all these trophies with a new team? Or that's the other scenario that just came to mind with me. Kevin Garnett leaving, going to Golden State. Everybody said this is not fair. Golden State's just going to win every title from this point forward. So do you see that parallel a bit?
If there is something there, it will be less obvious because there's more soccer player on the field. There is basketball player, and you have to be more of a team player. I mean, and Messi is a team player. He just needs to have a system around him, not because he wants to be the guy, because he's the guy. It is that simple. You got Messi on the field. You need to organize your team around him because he's not a 9, he's not a 10. I mean, he's everything at the same time. He moves wherever he wants, and you have to adjust to his movement because he will find you, or he will dribble everybody. And that's what you need to really understand when you get a player like this. You need to be open-minded, and that's why, again, Guardiola, I mean, he knows what to do with him. People will talk. Yes, there's no doubt that some people will say, oh my gosh, you're moving over there because they're winning. Who cares? I mean, the guy is 33. He's done a lot with Barcelona. He's done as much as he could. It is a little sad that he's not going to finish with them, but, life goes on. If we had that discussion 2 years ago, Darren, I would say there's no way he's ever leaving. And I would say he shouldn't leave. But there's also that other aspect. It is exciting. It is suddenly exciting to see where he's going to end up and how he's going to do.
Yeah. Just for the viewers and listeners that are not sure, talk about this financial fair play possibility that might stop somebody like PSG being able to bring him. They've obviously got Mbappe and Neymar and all these high profile, very high paid guys. There's this financial fair play clause in there that says there has to be a little bit of a line drawn so that the lesser teams aren't steamrolled all the time. But can you explain where that line is and how does it work?
Well, I'd love to explain where the line is going to be because we are in a COVID situation where everything has been difficult. Clubs need to adjust. Money is not really there for some of them. Even the big one. Some big ones are struggling. They need to find a way to survive. That's why you see clubs like Atletico Madrid is selling players. Valencia is selling players. Barcelona is going to, there's a lot of clubs and many of them in Spain. They're selling players. They need to find a way to stay on top of that wave. It's difficult right now. I don't know the new numbers. UEFA is going to adjust that. I don't have that information yet, but it's definitely going to be interesting, and it's limited. I mean, Manchester City and PSG has been the target of UEFA for so long because they know, and that's why I was telling you earlier, PSG to me cannot make it happen.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. This COVID has affected so many teams so financially, and we've had so many difficulties. You're seeing that. So many countries. I remember going through the airport, over the last couple of years and seeing a lot of signs that say these transfer fees are actually, helping these governments out. They're being able to bring in so much money and so much taxes, and that is a huge way of a government to see a lot of financial windfall, and the whole community and the city and taxpayers will feel a little bit less of a pinch because of these massive transfer taxes. That's not something that we see in North America. Talk about that in the world of soccer being such a massive way to bring money into clubs, into the city, into the government. It is just an incredible thing that happens in the world of soccer.
It is, and I remember reading an article about PSG. I'm sorry, but it's a perfect example because they're up there financially wise, and that there's so much taxes on sports in France, and that's why it was kind of nice. It's I'm gonna start there. It was kind of nice to see two French teams in the semifinal of the Champions League because we don't have the money to keep the players. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but only Brazil can fight with the amount of French players that play abroad. I mean, there's so many French players in the best league in Europe. They're everywhere. Why? Because they're good and because we cannot pay them enough in France. That's why it will be fantastic when a French team wins. But the reality is only PSG can afford it because they have unlimited amount of money. And they don't care, let's say, if, you, Darren, plays for, you make $1 million a month, that $1 million a month in France will amount to 1.4 million. And that's why it is so complicated for certain countries to deal with that market. England has found a way because they've got TV rights that are completely crazy numbers to balance that. Spain has been finding ways, that will be another chapter, for years to negotiate that, and they always find a way. So what's happening right now in Spain, I have no doubt that most of Europe is smiling at them, saying, hey, it's about time. Losing Messi is going to be a big slap in the face of the Spanish league after losing Cristiano Ronaldo, and at some point it's due to happen. Money has some value and some cost, and they've been kind of finding a way there. But that's the reality of European game. Germany is very solid. They develop players. French is develop players. We don't have the money to keep them. Italy is kind of in between. All the money is in England because of taxes, because of everything. And some government want the image more than the money. And that's the choice they make, and that's the reality of what it is today. And it's not going to change easily.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, going back to the Bayern Munich win in the Champions League, fantastic victory. We were able to see Alphonso Davies be the first Canadian national to be able to raise that trophy, and it got a lot of media exposure here north of your border, and it was exciting to see Alphonso, just an amazing player that was, raised here in Canada, was able to come to the Whitecaps here on the West Coast in Vancouver, and, sign an unprecedented deal with Bayern. And the potential and possibility of this guy, it's really exciting for Canadian soccer fans. Tell me about Alphonso Davies and the view of him from around the world.
It's an interesting, case, because I remember when he kind of came out on the scene, he was like 15, I believe, and we start hearing about him. That's when he joined the Whitecaps pro group. And, he played some games, and you could see right away that that kid had something special. And, we all, it's funny. Journalists are journalists, but you also play a little game sometimes. You talk to agents, you talk to coaches, and you say, hey, I saw someone over there. And I remember making some phone calls there's a guy in Canada that you may want to keep an eye on, because he's cheap and he's going to be something. After that, you have no idea if he's going to be that player. But that's a fantastic, fantastic player for Canada, because he's going to absolutely push soccer upward. And he's 19. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, the poise, more than the physical ability and the talent and everything, is the poise. He played. I mean, he had maybe one or two plays where he got that yellow card, and you're like, okay, how is he going to handle that? You get a yellow? Nah, nothing. Another day at the office, and I'm like, that kid is 19. I mean, I'm old. I mean, that's it. He's a rock. He's a rock, and you're gonna have him on the national team for 19. I mean, if you're lucky, 13 years maybe. You need to push hard to get more of this, because this is fantastic news for Canada to have a player like this.
Yeah, no, it's really great, and obviously with the World Cup coming to North America pretty soon, Canada wants to emerge on the soccer stage. Have some games here. We've got some games in the U.S. and Mexico. It's really huge for huge for soccer locally here. Being able to have a guy that high profile, being with the Champions League winners, and at 19 years old, it shocks me. I'm not going to say this as any type of a slight towards him, but he really has looked on the pitch like much older than his age. But he posted something the other day on I think it was Instagram, that he saw that Drake was actually following him on Instagram, and he was jumping around and screaming and yelling and thanking Drake for following him. He couldn't believe it. It was the greatest moment of his life. And I'm like, oh, okay, he is 19 years old. Did you see that post at all?
No, I did not. I mean, I wish I followed more Instagram, but I was going to joke, who's Drake? But no, I know. It's just, they're kids, but the poise that he shows, it's kind of like, I remember Kobe Bryant at the same age. The poise was there, but he was still a kid now and then. And that's a good thing. You need that balance. You don't want to be a machine and not enjoy enough. I mean, what he's doing is absolutely fantastic. So congratulations, young man. And I wish him the best, and plenty of title to come. They just very, very impressive.
Yeah. I don't follow the women's game as much as I should, but his girlfriend, Jordan Huitema, is 19 years old. She's plays with PSG. PSG is actually facing Olympique Lyonnais in the Champions League final for the women. We have
semi-final.
Yeah, sorry, semifinal. Yeah. We have actually 3 Canadians that are very prominent in this semifinal coming up. Kadesha Buchanan, Ashley Lawrence also plays for PSG. She's in the starting 11. And Jordan Huitema, it'll be the first time that a female and a male couple will actually hoist the Champions Trophy if PSG can upset Olympique Lyonnais, who's won 4 straight championships and 6-time champion. Do you follow the women's game, and do you know some of these names that I'm throwing out?
I know some of them. It has changed so much that growing up in Europe, and yes, I'm gonna slap myself a little bit publicly. You don't watch women game. You didn't watch women game 20 years ago. In Europe, we were a very, very sexist, country. I mean, France, Italy, Spain. It has changed drastically. I mean, I'm going to talk about France because that's what I know. People were really behind that French national team when they play the World Cup, and it is fantastic to see. So, no, I'm watching the play of the semi-final and everything. I'm watching the World Cup because the level is there and the excitement is there. And I wish that she's going to win and you're going to have that first couple, but beating Lyon is going to be quite a tall order because they are Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
For the women, that's what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the women's game received a huge boost here in Canada when we were able to get the World Cup and have so much success on a world stage. Christine Sinclair is considered one of the greatest female players to ever lace them up, and it just brought a lot of notoriety. John Herdman came in and was able to really raise the level of our national team through the women, and when the World Cup's on, when very major tournaments are on, Canada does turn and watch the women's game. It's so amazing to see 3 Canadians in the semifinal game, and to be into the starting 11. Alphonso Davies is getting so much press, and so all of a sudden now we're talking about his 19-year-old girlfriend as well. It's really great. I'm glad that they're shedding light on the women's game, and it's fun. It's really fun soccer to watch. Really exciting. They're very, very talented, and I recommend our viewers and listeners, please watch that semifinal game and on to the Champions League final. You must be seeing emergence of women locally at your academy as well, and girls taking up the game so much more because it is becoming so much more prominent in the world.
Yeah, but in the US, it's kind of, it's been there. There's US soccer, women's soccer has been dominating for many, many years. So there's no problem here. There's women playing soccer right and left, and there's a lot of talent, and they're very rough. They're very physical, very coachable as well, and it's really a pleasure to coach. But I was gonna go back to the men, if you don't mind, because I was thinking of Jonathan David that signed, another Canadian that signed in from La Gantoise to Lille in France. Watch out as well. That guy plays offense. You've got some talent in Canada, so hopefully we're gonna have fans in the stadium and the leagues are gonna play nicely and we're gonna enjoy all this. But there's a lot of movement. Messi, who's that guy? I'm dying for some soccer. I'm watching the NBA in the bubble and it's fantastic. But I need soccer games. We had that tease with the Champions League. It was great. It was short. It's time to show more game,
I know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it wasn't enough for soccer fans to get their fix, and now the Champions League's done. It's what's next? Please bring something else on. But I guess let's talk about Juventus now. They released their 3rd kit yesterday, I believe it was, and it's this orange and black, very bold kit. What did you think of this new 3rd jersey?
I think I'm younger than you, Darren. Bold is young and young is good. And, you need to sell some jersey. You need to change sometimes, man. Get a new T-shirt. I don't know. No, that's, commercial trend. The 3rd jersey for most clubs is exactly that. It's a jersey that people will buy because it's different. It's really, you wear that jersey maybe twice a year. That's what it is, and you buy it. And I'm more concerned with players' movement right now than the jersey, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, not the biggest news of the week for sure, but 9-time defending champion, looking really great. Being able to win that Serie A champion, play very, very well, not winning a Champions League, but looking great. And Cristiano Ronaldo, being able to bring so much to that team. And tell me about this. Tell me about your academy. I know you had to shut down over the pandemic concerns, and I guess you're about to reopen this coming week. That must be really exciting for you and everyone involved in Soccer Central and the Juventus Academy in San Antonio.
It is just, and I was before I answer that one, I was going to touch on the main club. Having
Please
Andrea Pirlo, new coach for Juventus, former player Pirlo. It's quite interesting as well. It's a gamble because he hasn't coached much, but I like the gamble. Juventus needs to have someone from Juventus to coach that team, and it's going to be interesting. As far as us, I mean, we're probably not that it is very interesting for people in Canada, but COVID has done a lot of damage in Texas, just like Florida and California, and we've been really delaying the moment to reopen. That's not the reality of many clubs and many sports in here. I mean, they've been practicing for a while. We pushed it to the end of the month. We're not going to do anything until the end of the month, and I think that was the right decision because 2 weeks ago there was 1,500 cases a day in San Antonio, and we are now at 150 cases a day. It's still not great, but it's much better. And we're talking about social distancing and everything and the mask. I really don't know how you do that with a contact sport. As I told you, my son plays college soccer in Canada. I know what you're doing in Canada. It is drastically different in the US. It is what it is, as the president would say. You have to find a way. I've never been in that situation, obviously, just like everybody else. But it's difficult to teach a team game, a contact game in that situation. And I really don't know how it's going to go. I mean, it's kind of like the schools are reopening. We're going to see how it goes. And the same with team sports. We have games in a month. In 1 month, we have games already. It's going to be something.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
All I have for you, it's something I really don't know. We're in the dark. And,
yeah.
We have all those protocols where we're going to be way more than coach. We're going to have to pay attention to a lot of new things. And I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Right. Yeah. Well, to go from 1,500 cases a day there to down to 150, I'm glad that whatever safety protocols have been put into place have obviously been working. I hope, that number can be continually reduced. We had really a lot of success, and we were patting ourselves on the back for a really long time here north of the border. And then we had a recent spike where we're getting close to 80 to 100 cases a day. And it was alarming for us because we hadn't seen those numbers since the very early stages of this. So, I know the world is a different place. Every time I go out, immediately I see people with masks. It brings it back into a reality situation. You and I watch a lot of sports, so we can get away from that and, think about other things in life. And it's really nice to be able to have that break from the world. But the reality of the situation is that, COVID has taken over the world, and we're living in unprecedented times. And I hope when you have this reopening, I hope everybody stays safe, and you can, keep the kids and keep, your staff and everybody, without getting the COVID disease. And, it's scary. I know a lot of people that have just recently returned to work, and all the different safety protocols are just shocking that they have to do now to, try to keep everybody safe and stop this disease from emerging. So, good luck to you and the staff. I know it's a huge undertaking, and it's going to be, I'm sure, quite stressful. So, keep safe and keep everybody there safe as well as you can. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you a lot in the future soon. And hopefully it's only good news to report.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you, Darren. Yeah.
Yeah.
And same up there. Stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing, because those are the right decisions. I mean, I think it's way too early to do anything like this, but we're kind of stuck with it. So,
yeah. Well, we're happy here. Politically, I think we're quite happy. I know there's a lot of political unrest down there, and a lot of protests, and a lot of things that the U.S. has to go through. And being your northern neighbors, we're always tuned into what's going on down there. And I'm glad you could shed some light on it from a French and Canadian perspective. Tell us what it's like down there as often as possible. And it was a pleasure having you today. Talk talk soccer. This Messi situation is, global. As soon as you get the inside knowledge, please give me a call and I'll put it on my next podcast. I'd like to find out as soon as we hear where he's going and what's happened with him. I'd like to report it to my viewers and listeners right away.
Let's do that. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be soon, because I feel a little bit for Barcelona fans. I mean, it has to be so painful. If that thing drags on for weeks, they don't need that. I mean, it's painful enough in Europe with all the, the COVID and everything. I mean, as silly as it is, I'm talking about COVID and Messi in the same sentence. Messi is gigantic and it matters in people's life. So I hope they find an agreement quickly and he moves on and life goes on.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he goes to, somebody that we, that, it'd be amazing if he went to Juventus, amazing if he went to PSG. We just talked about City, but I'm going to have to, go get a jersey pretty soon, as soon as he makes that move and give them some money to recoup the money that they're having to pay out. 1.5 million euros a week he makes. So that's a lot of jerseys that have to be sold to try to make up the money that he's going to take.
That's a good week, huh?
Yeah. Okay, all the best, Olivier. Enjoy your day. I know you've got a lot on your plate. So keep in really close contact and we'll talk soon.
All right, have a good one, man.
Okay,
Thanks.
You too. Take care. All the best.
Bye.
Stay safe.
You too.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Holy cow. We've seen an hour and 20 minutes go by already. Holy cow. That was a really entertaining conversation for me. I hope you liked it as much as I did. It's so great to be able to talk about such a worldwide sporting, story and sensation that Lionel Messi has decided to leave Barcelona and ask for a transfer. The soccer world and the sporting world, is going to be discussing this and talking about this for days and weeks, and we'll see what emerges. Thanks so much for tuning in to Complete Sports Media Podcast. Please support our partners and sponsors. We've got Forever Living, Verbero, and Anchor as our main sponsors, Anchor.fm, Forever Living. Go to our website, CompleteSportsMedia.com, and you'll be able to see all the interesting things that we do here at Complete Sports Media. So take care of yourself. Enjoy your week. Look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.